Alright, welcome back to the channel. Max Tornow here. In this video, I want to talk about what is actually possible in terms of income as an online coach, consultant, or service provider starting as a beginner. We're here in the Austrian Alps today, and if you're watching this, considering building your very first business, starting from scratch, and you feel a little lost, you don't know what model is the best for you, this video will shed some light on what's actually possible out of our own experience. This is not some random predictions like Bitcoin is going to go to the moon. This is actually out of our own experience, what we've seen over and over again with our most successful clients. So if that sounds good to you, let's get started.
Have you ever wondered whether there's more to life than a meaningless, dead-end 9-to-5 job? Have you ever dreamed about breaking free, traveling the world, making good money while not having to worry that you could get fired? My name is Max Tornow, and I've attained that freedom, and I've attained that security. No more office dress code, no morning commute, no boss. This channel is for you, so here's to your freedom.
And the reason I wanted to shoot this video is because over the last couple months, I've talked to a lot of people on Instagram. I reply to all DMs. Sometimes I reach out to people who just engage with my content. Careful. And there's like the magical fairies in the background. And I often ask about people's goals. When they reach out to me, I want to build my freedom business, I ask, what are your goals revenue-wise? And what I've gotten to know recently is that most people have ridiculously low goals, like very, very too humble goals. And I want to reach out a couple that I've come across here. And these are not extreme examples. This is what I literally see on a daily basis. So this gentleman here says, I'm asking about his revenue goals per month. He says, if I could bank around 3K per month. This other person says 1K. 1K is their goal per month. This person says, I think for a start, aiming for around 1.5K is realistic for the time being. And then last but not least, we have this gentleman who says, I want to reach financial independence within 8 years. And I appreciate the humility, it's cool. But what you're doing, if you're doing it in that to such a degree, is you're limiting yourself before you even give yourself a chance to succeed. And that's not just bad because it's the mindset and woo-woo, but it's actually completely unrealistic. I mean, sorry for these words, but every idiot can make a K or 2K a month. It really isn't too difficult to get there. In fact, there's a reason why we often say, look, 10K a month is beginner level, all right? I'm not just saying this is marketing to downplay 10K a month. No, this is literally the most basic of very first stepping stones, of very first milestones to get to. And we see this time and time again that our beginner clients, people that have never sold anything before, people that have never coached anything specifically, professionally, are getting to 10K a month relatively quickly. And this is realistic. This is not some get rich quick thing like make instant 10K. It's still hard work to get there, but ultimately these are goals that are absolutely realistic if you're willing to implement a lot of these things very, very consistently. And feel free to check out our client interviews, of which we have plenty. And this is, by the way, really great. We have the snow plow coming down here. Feel free to check out our client interviews, of which we have very plenty on this very YouTube channel. These are all go there. These people are always there with first and last name unless they asked us otherwise. These are all people that whose Instagrams we connect. Feel free to reach out to them and ask them about their experience, because again, what I'm trying to do with this video is I'm trying to show you what is actually possible, all right, if you do online coaching, consulting, or service providing, and if you do it right. Because if I think back to my times when I have started with my personal development journey and also with the journey of trying to become my own boss, what helped me the most was less the information, because information was always out there, so you can get that for free anywhere. It was more the understanding of what is actually possible. And that was, even in the beginning, the case for me as someone who was extremely shy and, not outgoing. Just having had someone to show me like, hey, you can step up, you can get out of your comfort zone, you can become your version 2.0. And that was the spark. That was the spark that ignited this inferno, this fire within me of just telling me that, hey, you can change. You can improve your situation. You don't need to accept the status quo. That's all I needed to hear in the beginning. And maybe this video is helping you to do the same, like, hey, hello, If you're watching this right now and your goal is to make 8K or 2K or 3K a month or 5K, it's low. It's absolutely possible. In fact, I would like to cautiously, with some caution, encourage you to think much bigger and say, look, 10K is where I'd like to get for a start. 10K is the first milestone, it's like where I'd like to get for a start. And this might seem so far away for you. It was just as far away from me as well. In fact, with my very first business, the dating advice business, way before I had a YouTube channel, way before I was known, I managed to make 4 figures a month, like 8K or 2K on the side as I was a student back then. That was mind-blowing for me, for something that I actually loved teaching, that I would just teach for free to my friends. That's how I started. And then all of a sudden I was making money with it. All of a sudden I made, you know, 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 a month. It was absolutely crazy for me. And then slowly but steadily I started perfecting that system. And this is now what we're teaching to our beginner clients. They can literally get to 10K a month just with direct outreach, without needing a website, without needing a big social media brand, without needing a YouTube channel, without needing Facebook ads, just via direct outreach. That's very, very lean and the most direct way of actually getting to your first 5 figures a month. And again, like just that mind blow that I've gotten from understanding like this is what's possible, that kind of opened the door for me to actually pursue that, you know? And so I always think these things go, there's 2 steps to that. The first step is like realizing that it is possible. And the second step is realizing that it's possible for you. So again, I really appreciate you watching this video, but I'd also encourage you to watch the other client interviews on our channel here that we have on this very YouTube channel. So you can kind of maybe really manifest, just really hammer in that mindset of like, look, if that guy and that guy and that guy and that guy can, if they all can do it, so should you. I'm not saying everybody can do it, but it should be your goal to get inspired by that. And maybe even feel a little bit of envy or almost, or hate towards these people. Maybe they're in a similar niche in which you have, you know, worked your ass off over such a long time, and now they're seemingly doing it much easier. Because the other thing is, it's not just about understanding that it's possible, it's also about understanding how to get there. Because there's so many wrong ways I see people out there trying to get there. And of course that correlates with their low goals. But there's a right way out there that many, many people have taken over and over again. You just have to pop on that path as well and just execute and stay consistent with that, right? And by the way, if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and check out our podcast. Nikita Gunkovic, my partner, and I, we have a very, very informative and very entertaining podcast. I strongly encourage you to check in on that, because it goes a lot deeper than the YouTube stuff. It's a lot more about the implementable know-how steps. So definitely check it out. We're going to put a link down in the description, or a link that appears somewhere here right now. Go up on that podcast, start listening in. Every episode is like 10-20 minutes, so it's very digestible little pieces that you can get into. And yeah, so you know, when I think back to how I got started with my very first business, it was the fact that I was able to think big. And for me, it was less about the money per se. It was about this, am I going to be able to travel the world and work from a laptop? This goal was so unreal for me. This goal it seemed so impossible to me that when I had glimpsed the first peek into maybe it is possible, it blew my mind so much. And it kind of was the start of this epic multi-year journey where I was just walking around in bliss, that I cannot believe I'm getting paid to travel the world and work from my laptop and teach people. And you know, of course, after a while, this bliss kind of wears off and it becomes normal for you. But I still love looking back to the times where I almost felt like I had bestowed that cage upon me of saying, you know, I'm going to get a 9-to-5 job. This is not for me. I'm not special. You know, the other people out there are much smarter, much more gifted than me. They're going to build their businesses, but I will just become a teacher in high school, and that's it. And I love thinking back to that and being like, wow, this is what you have become, Max. This is how you started, and this is what you thought you'd get to, and this is where you have gotten. And that's a very, very beautiful part of your journey. And so you kind of look back and you're fascinated, and then you look forward and you say, well, if this is possible and I made it, what else is possible? And then you can just keep striving, keep thriving towards up that peak, and it never ends, and you just keep getting better, and you keep serving more and more people, and ultimately, you know, making 1.5K or 4 or 5K a month isn't even nearly enough for you to really be able to take care of your children maybe in the future, or your parents right now, or your spouse, or even yourself. So keep thriving, keep pushing, keep making more, because you can use that money to serve yourself and to serve others. You can be there for others, and it can be a really, really positive impact. That's really, really wonderful thing, really wonderful position to be in. So I want to thank you very much for watching, and I would like to invite you to really take that journey together with me. I've done it literally over 1,000 times now. I've done this over the last couple of years. This is everything I do. I live this, I breathe this, I eat this. I can help you build your very first freedom business from scratch personally. And the way to do that is for you to book a free consultation call with us literally right now. There's a link down in the description below, or a link that appears somewhere here right now. You click on that link, you fill out the application on that page, and then you book the exact date and time where you want us to call you entirely for free, all right? This is for you if you feel a little lost, you want to build your own freedom business, but you don't know where to start, you don't know how or what to offer or anything, you feel lost, this is exactly for you. If you already kind of know what it is that you could be offering, and maybe you've already made some money from that, but you want to do it more consistently, then this call is also for you. Like I said, the link is down in the description below. You'll be talking to a real person, right? And if you then want to become our client for long term, we can also discuss that on that free call. Other than that, I want to thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.
So I've closed 13K in total until now. This is something I'm really proud of, but is also something that would have never been possible without the coaches in this program and without this structure. Huge shout out to Max personally, but also shout out to all the other coaches, and crush it, guys. I'll see ya.